What is going on YouTube? I forgot to bring my locks to the front, y'all, before we went live, but I'm so glad that you guys decided to join us for this being our review for 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After, question mark. This is season 9 and episode 18. I got my main back, Dustin. I got my main buddy, Dustin, back. How you doing, Dustin? So glad that you're
Oh,
here.
well, I'm here. As you guys know, I'm going through some things. So right now, you and Jennifer knows Jennifer. Thank you for the shout out last week. So thank you for that, and thank you, Jonathan, as well. So thank you very much. But I'm here, and we're going to try to continue and move forward.
Absolutely, absolutely. A couple things I want y'all to do before we get started. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Press that big red subscribe. I have to stop saying red. Press that big subscribe button. It is free and easy to do. Takes less than a second to mash that thing. So go ahead and mash it for a brother. Also, be sure to leave a thumbs up for
Mhm.
this video. Let me know you're enjoying the content that I'm putting out on my channel. Also, be sure to leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on the various couples that we're discussing on 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After, as well as pressing the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video on my channel. You do not want to miss a single video, y'all. Also, last but not least, be sure to share JoJo Speaks with all your family, friends, and loved ones. Let everybody know JoJo Speaks is out here in these YouTube streets. I almost don't know where I want to start, but I guess we'll start with Brandon and Julia. So Brandon and Julia, they're Julia wants Brandon to sell his motorcycle. And all this time I'm thinking, has Julia selling her Russian apartment just gone out the window? But Brandon later on in the episode said that that didn't go through. I'm not sure exactly what that means. Did she try to sell it and it just has not sold yet? Is it still on the
She said
market?
she tried. She said she tried to sell it, but it didn't go through. So,
Gotcha.
I,
Okay.
mm,
So you know, a lot of times when you try to sell something, it can stay on the market. So it's not that there's no way that it can be sold. As long as you keep it on the market, people who are interested in buying apartments can still have the opportunity to buy it. But anyways, we'll get past that. I'm assuming that we're not going to address that, maybe not until the tell-all. I hope they ask her specifically
mhm.
about why the apartment wasn't sold. But anyway, so Brandon did reveal to us that he is back at work. However, he is receiving a lower paycheck. So I'm assuming that maybe he's in the same field, just not at the position that he used to be. But thankfully, he is working at this time. So apparently, he just quit his job in order to go on this multi-country European vacation with Julia. So I'm at least glad that he is working again. And I'm sure that his family is happy about that as well. They're still discussing telling Brandon's family about Julia's pregnancy. Julia at this time is 5 months pregnant, so she's past the halfway point of her pregnancy. I'm assuming this is the second trimester, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know a whole lot about pregnancy, so
This is
don't
second
don't.
trimester. Mm.
Gotcha. Thank you so much for that, Dustin. So don't get on me in the comments if I sound ignorant when it comes to pregnancy, because I don't know the first thing about it besides the way that it actually comes to fruition. But anyway, so Brandon still wants Julia to be open to the possibility or the opportunity rather for them to tell his parents that she is pregnant. Once you get to
Mm-hmm.
5 months, I mean, they haven't seen Julia. I don't think. I think the last time that we saw Julia, or that Brandon's parents saw Julia, was that whole scene in their kitchen where his parents were saying that they're trying to pull him away from them and all that good stuff, drive a wedge between Brandon and his parents. And so Brandon has seen his parents. They've been asking about Julia. He's kept this information away from them. So Brandon and Julia go out to eat with a couple friend of theirs, and Julia spells out on this paper, on this plate with chocolate syrup that she asked for from the waiter, asking the couple that they're invited to dinner, would they be the godparents? And so they are shocked by the news that Julia is pregnant. These are the first people in their lives that they're revealing to that Julia is pregnant. And
Mm.
they are continuously trying to encourage Julia to reveal the pregnancy to Brandon's parents. And here's my thing. Although I haven't been the biggest fan of Julia this entire season, I do understand her reluctancy to tell Brandon's parents. However, this is one of those things that you cannot get away from. You can't put it off forever, because eventually this baby is going to come, whether you like it or not. And whether you like it or not, Brandon's parents are going to find out eventually. So in my opinion, it's better
And
to
what?
tell them sooner than later, because the
That,
longer you wait, the more questions Brandon's parents are going to have about, why did you wait so long to tell us that you guys were pregnant? She is 5 months pregnant. They've waited way too long for me personally. I feel like she should have told them as soon as she found out. But hey, I completely understand why she did not want to tell Brandon's mother. I think her name is Betty, if I'm not mistaken, or Patty, something
Betty.
along Betty. Thank you so much for that. And so I do see how Betty seems to overstep her boundaries when it comes to Brandon and Julia's relationship. I get that, and I do agree that she does do a job at sticking her nose into their business when I don't believe that she
A little bit too
necessarily.
much, in my opinion.
Absolutely, a little bit too much. And so I understand her reservations about not telling them, but she has to tell them. We see Lady Virgo in the building. Lady Virgo says, "Good
Hey,
evening
Lady
to
Virgo.
everyone."
Get it, Lady.
Good evening, Lady Virgo. Thank you so much for joining us, my love. So glad to see you in the comments, boo. And so I understand exactly why Julia wants to put off telling Brandon's parents that she's pregnant, but you've got
Mm-hmm.
to tell them eventually. So, Dustin, what were your thoughts on Brandon and Julia's segment this episode? And do you understand why Julia doesn't want to tell them?
Well, I kind of understand it, but I don't understand it. I understand it, but I don't understand it. If that makes any sense, because his parents are going to be involved in it after. Going to want to be involved after the baby is born. So, that's going to be the grandparents. So, it's going to they're still going to be wanting to be in the life of the baby. So I don't understand why she don't want to tell him. But that's up to Julie and Brandon, so they can handle it that way. But I don't know. I think Julie is trying to make a rift between Brandon and his parents. That's my opinion.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know if I agree completely that she's trying to drive a wedge between him and his parents. However, it does look that way. Lady
Mm-hmm.
Virgo says down in the comments to JoJo Speaks and Dustin Butler, hey, good evening
Hey,
to you all. Good evening to Lady Virgo. And Lady Virgo has another comment here. Let me pull it up and read it to you, the viewers. Let me see what else Lady Virgo has to say. Lady Virgo also says, "Hey, hey, happy Monday to two handsome gentlemen." Thank you so much for the compliment, Lady Virgo.
thank
Just
you, Lady
go
Virgo.
ahead and shower us with all the compliments you want to. I ain't gonna stop you, girl.
And
But
this is I want to say something else, Jonathan. This is the first live in November, so uh, this is a new month. So everybody, let's have a better November than we did in October, because I know October was a rough month for me. So everybody in the live it's going to have a better month. We hope.
absolutely. Hopefully, we will have a better November. This year has gone. I won't say that it's gone by fast, but it hasn't taken its time either. So, not nearly as fast as 2024 went. I'd have to say it feels like 2024 just came and went real quickly. But yeah. Anyways, again, I understand why Julia does not want to tell Brandon's mother and well,
Mm,
mainly his mother, but does not want to tell Brandon's parents so quickly. But once again, like you can only put it off for so long because eventually this baby is going to come. Just like Jasmine and Matt took so long to tell Matt's parent, to tell Matt's mother that
mm,
Jasmine was pregnant, and he didn't get to tell her until the baby had actually gotten here. So
mm.
there you go. Like so for me, it brings up a lot of questions as to why you took so long to tell us that your wife is pregnant. So
Well, don't
you
get
know
me
I,
started on don't get me started on Jasmine and Gino, because I got a lot to say on them too.
Right. Yeah. I think that might be that might be one of the next couples we talk about. But yeah, I'm done with Jasmine. I really am. But yeah, I get why Julia doesn't want to tell Brandon's parents, but at the end of the day, they are the child's grandparents. Yes, you can set boundaries for them, and I'm assuming that Julia will set boundaries for them, and I'm sure Brandon's parents will appear at the tell-all. So
Mm.
it'll be interesting to see how that
Well,
goes.
they'll still be there.
But at the end of the day, they have to be involved in some way, shape, or form. They have to be involved. And I'm sure they're going to be
Right.
happy. Well, they may not be too happy, especially considering their current financial situation. But at the end of the day, I still do think that they will be happy for Brandon and Julia bringing another person into the world. Lady Virgo says down in the comments, yes, yes, amen to that, Dustin. These past months have been the worst in my opinion, and me and my family. I'm so sorry to hear that, Lady Virgo, but I do
Me
hope that
too.
things get
Me too.
better.
October was a really rough month. For my
Yeah, yeah.
family and I. So
I hope things
yeah.
get better for everyone, especially those who are being affected by SNAP food stamp benefits being taken away on the 1st of November. Like, I feel
Mm.
so bad for all of those who were affected by that. And I hope that those people are able to find solace in some way and are able to find food to put on their table, because
Mhm.
hunger is never a thing that anyone should have to deal with, especially in a country like the United States of America. But
I was
yeah,
one of them.
as
I was one
right,
of them.
exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm so sorry to hear that, Dustin. I'm so sorry to hear that you would have to go through that.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's just I'm warming up to Julia after I found out she was pregnant, and I'm so happy. You know, she said that she has a high risk pregnancy, so that's another reason she doesn't want to tell Betty. But
Mhm.
at the end of the day, she just doesn't like Betty, and I get that. I would not like my mother-in-law if she was sticking her nose in me and my husband's business. Like, I would not appreciate that whatsoever, and I'm sure no one would. So
I
I
wouldn't
get
like
the
it either.
reason,
No.
but right.
No.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think anyone would like that. But at the end of the day, she literally has to tell them. And they haven't even discussed telling Julia's parents that she's pregnant. I'm confused as to why they haven't made that point at all. They haven't spoken about Julia's parents being told at all about it. So who knows? I'm sure I believe the next episode will be the finale. So we'll see what happens. We'll see
There's a
what happens with them.
there's a two-part tell-all.
Okay, so there's a
Yeah.
two-part tell-all. So we'll see what happens with them in the
Yeah.
next episode. But let's move on to our next couple. But before we get to that, Lady Virgo has another comment in the comment section. Let me see what else Lady Virgo has to
Mhm.
say.
Yeah.
So Lady Virgo says, "Jojo speaks. Say what? I am shocked to hear you turn on Jasmine. I know I'm shocked too, Lady Virgo. But it's the way that she's been acting this season. Even though she's been acting the same way since she got on 90 Day Fiance, I thought it was because of Gino that she was acting this way, but no, that's just the way that Jasmine is. And Lady Virgo continues by saying, "I need her off our screens
I've been saying that.
immediately."
I've been saying that from day one. So I'm on the same page with you, Lady Burger.
She's a whole hot mess, I swear. Yes, Jasmine is a hot mess, Lady Virgo. And y'all tried to tell me. My mama tried to tell me as well about Jasmine. It's just that I loved her personality so much. And I loved the joy that she would always exude when she was on camera. At least, well, not, she wouldn't always exude joy, because a lot of times she would exude a lot of drama as well. But I've come to the conclusion that Jasmine is a problem, and she does not need to be on TV anymore after the season. But I'm more than positive this is not the last season we will see Jasmine on
Mm.
90 Day Fiance. But let's move on to Darcy and Georgie. So Darcy and Georgie are meeting up at a bar. They started this scene in the previous episode and they ended it in this episode. And Georgie, the thing about this scene is that I don't know exactly what it is that Georgie was trying to get across to Darcy. That's partly because Darcy kept cutting him off, constantly dismissing him, literally putting her hands up to her ears to not have to hear what was coming out of his mouth. Like, I don't know how much more dismissive that you can get other than literally covering your ears while your significant other is trying
Mm.
to pour his heart out to you. And so that
Sure.
told me clearly that Darcy, well, at least what she's showing us, I don't know what they do when the cameras are off, but what they're showing us is that Darcy clearly does not care about Georgie's feelings. She does not care about Georgie's mental well-being. She does not care about Georgie, period. And so, you know, of course, he brings up the fact that his family was, his sister, in fact, was asking him about the possibility of him having a child. With Darcy being 50 years old at this time, she's not interested in having any more children. Like I
Mm.
said last week, Janet Jackson had her first child at 50, so it's not impossible, but there would need to
Wow.
be a lot of third-party intervention if she wants to have a healthy pregnancy at the age of 50. Lady Virgo says down in the comments to Dustin, exactly. I knew when y'all first got me to watch this 90 Day Fiance. 90 Day series, Jasmine was no good. Yeah, Jasmine
Mm,
is a problem, and I'm starting to believe more and more that Gino is right, that she only married him to get a green card in order to
mhm.
live in America, the land of the free
She
and the
wanted to
home of the
live.
brave, allegedly.
She wanted to live in America. She wanted him to pay for 10 years, which ain't right.
Exactly. With Darcy and Georgie. So,
Mm-hmm.
Georgie is trying to tell him that Darcy does not understand him. She doesn't listen to him, which we've been witnesses of that ourselves as viewers, that Darcy does not consider Georgie in anything that she does, in any decisions that she makes, and in any of the words that come out of her mouth. She just does not care about the way that she's being seen by the viewers. And for me, if I'm going to be on TV, I would want to be seen in the best light possible at all times. And in no way would I want to be seen as a villain. And Darcy, to me, as a viewer,
Mm-hmm.
is showing herself as a villain at this point. But anyway, so Stacy eventually says, well, you know what? Stacy, I think, well, what I was hoping was that Georgie was leading up to breaking up with her, but it's
Mm-hmm.
clear that Georgie does not want to break up with her. He's continuously telling Darcy that he loves her. When Darcy starts crying, oh, I started rolling my eyes
Mm-hmm.
immediately. And Georgie gets up to hug her and console her, and which, like, I feel like Darcy doesn't deserve that at all, because, like, for me, in order to get respect, you have to give respect. But for
Yeah.
me, I feel like you do have to respect everyone in general. But if someone is showing you disrespect, then I feel like that respect goes right out the window. And for me, I don't feel as though Darcy truly respects Georgie as a person. She's
Mm.
been treating him like absolute shit this entire time I have seen them on this season of 90 Day Fiance. And so
Treating them like
Stacey,
crap. Yeah.
right, exactly. Treating him like pure shit. We see late Auntie Robin in the building. Hey, Auntie Robin, thank you so
Hey,
much
Andy,
for
hope you're
being
feeling better.
here. Hope you're feeling better as well, Auntie Robin. Auntie Robin says, "Hey, folks. Hey, Auntie Robin. So glad that you're here, boo." And so basically, Stacy says that, you know what? Why don't we just end this? Why don't we just not be together anymore? Seems like
Yeah.
Darcy is somewhat, sort of, kind of breaking up with Georgie, but she doesn't say officially that I want a divorce, because they are officially married at this point. So she doesn't
Mm.
say that she doesn't want a divorce. She just says that you go your way, I go my way, and we just live our lives separately. So
Well, then
that's
that should
the
be and that should be a divorce, Jonathan. Because if if you want if you feel like you're going to do if you feel like you're uh, uh, already hit that level after being a short time and being married, that's not a good situation to be in. So why would you want to stay married to somebody like that?
And in a way, that's the same thing that Jasmine said to Gino when she allegedly broke it off with him a couple of episodes ago, saying that she doesn't want to pursue a relationship with him anymore. When you
Hmm.
are married and you're breaking up with someone, the word divorce needs to be coming out of your mouth. If that is your true intention, because if your true intention is to
Right.
break up with them, then that means, in essence, your
That
true
means you're
intention
done. Hmm.
is exactly, Dustin. It means that you're desiring a divorce, and
Right.
the fact that Darcy did not utter the word divorce tells me that she still wants to go through this yin and yang, this back and forth with Georgie, as long as she can stay on the show. I think Darcy
Mhm.
wants to remain on
It's
90 Day
because she want.
Fiance.
It's because she wants that TV money.
Exactly. She wants to
Hmm.
stay on TV for as long as possible, which I understand. I get. And Darcy is doing everything that she can to keep her spot on the show. And for me, I feel as though that is the complete opposite of authenticity. But, watching reality
Hmm.
TV, you really can't expect to see authenticity, not necessarily, because I feel as though a lot of people, when they get on TV, they want to show a version of themselves that they want to present to the viewers. And
Hmm.
that a lot of times that's not necessarily who they truly are.
Yeah.
But for me, I feel as though Georgie deserves better. And I think that Darcy, I don't know what type of man Darcy needs. I don't know what type of man would put up with what Darcy puts Georgie through, but hey,
Hmm.
it is what it is. Lady Virgo says, hey to Auntie Robin, and happy Monday to her as well. Thank you so much for shouting each other out in the comments, y'all. Keep it up. But yeah, I just want Georgie to leave Darcy behind and find a woman who will appreciate him, for the man that he is. And to see him
Yeah.
crying through that scene shows me that he has true, genuine feelings for her. And Darcy's showing none of that towards Georgie whatsoever. And to me, that's
Mm-hmm.
disrespectful. And I don't like seeing that whatsoever. So we'll see what happens with them in the next episode. Once again, they're clearly going to stay together as much as I don't want to see them stay together, as much as I don't want to, because for me, Darcy is abusing Georgie, in my opinion. Darcy is
Mm-hmm.
emotionally abusive towards Georgie, and I don't want to see any man or woman, for that matter, be put through any type of abuse whatsoever.
So,
But let's move on
so
to our next couples. Our next couples being Andre and Elizabeth, as well as Jovi and Yada. So Andre and Elizabeth, Jovi and Yada, they're sitting by the campfire and they're making s'mores. And this does not go well at all. And I've come to the conclusion that these two couples, along with Lauren and Alexi, none of them are friends at all. They don't act like friends. They don't act like they like each other. They're continuously spewing drama back and forth between the three couples. Is so interchangeable. I don't know who's closer to who. I mean, it seems like Yada and Lauren are pretty close, but I don't think Elizabeth is close to Yada or Lauren at all. It doesn't seem like
no.
she likes them. It doesn't seem like she wants to be around them. Of course, Elizabeth was upset with Yada for bringing up what Elizabeth told her, and she says she told her in confidence. You can't tell anyone anything in confidence when there is a camera rolling right in your face. That does not fly whatsoever. Because even if Yada
Mm-hmm.
didn't tell Lauren the next day, she would have found out about it on the tell-all. And so, the fact that you said it on camera means that Lauren's going to find out about it eventually. But of course, we're on reality TV, so I guess we kind of have to act like the cameras are not right in front of us. But anyways,
Yeah.
and so
But I
for
did
some
see
reason,
I did see a clip of the tell-all on Instagram today. Yeah,
mhm.
and Lauren goes off on Alexa. She goes off on some people at the
On
tell-all.
Elizabeth.
So yeah. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. That's not surprising to me whatsoever, Dustin. And she has every right to. Because Lauren said that she really thought that her and Elizabeth were great friends. But
Mm-hmm.
Andre and Elizabeth, for me, are no one's friends, or at least not Yada and Jovi or Alexi and Lauren's friends whatsoever. And I'm so glad that Alexi has kept himself away from the drama. Excuse me, makes him even look even better in my eyes. But of course, Lauren's going to be involved with it. But anyway, so Elizabeth is upset with Yada and Jovi. Jovi for encouraging Yada to bring this up to Lauren. And she's saying that Jovi is continuously bringing up drama within the friend group. And then Yada and Jovi, thankfully, they're on the same side, are saying that Elizabeth and Andre are the ones who are continuing the drama. And for me, prior to watching this episode, it was my opinion that Elizabeth and Andre were the problem. But no, that's not the case. It's all three couples are the problem. Again,
Mm-hmm.
none of them seem like are acting like they like each other. None of them are acting like they are friends with the others. It seems like they just don't like each other, and they're just putting up with each other just to stay on the show. So
Later.
that's my opinion overall. And then Andre was getting a little bit upset, saying that Yada needs to pick sides. Why does she need to pick sides? Why do you think that Yada needs to pick Alexi and Lauren or pick Elizabeth and Andre? I
She
don't
don't need to pick.
understand.
She don't need to pick any side. She can pick her own opinion.
Exactly. And if this is Yada's reason for wanting to stay in Miami, I feel as though Jovi has every right to say, okay, so clearly these are not our friends. Clearly they do not support us. So we need to move back to Louisiana. So I don't know if that conversation is going to come back up maybe in the finale or in the tell all, but I think Yada needs to realize that these are not her friends. Maybe she knows this in real life and she's just playing like she doesn't know for the camera, but it's clear to us as viewers that none of these couples are friends whatsoever. But,
Mm-hmm.
Andre was getting really upset. He was getting up in arms and he was saying that Yada needs to pick sides. And once again, to me, Dustin, I don't feel as though Yada has to pick sides. I think she needs better discernment to understand who is writing for her and who does not care for her whatsoever. And even though Elizabeth, to her face, to Yada's face, makes it seem like she's her friend, and makes it seem like she loves her, and makes it seem like she's acting or speaking in her best interest, it doesn't come across that way when you're like, if you want to tell Yada about what Lauren said, why not include Yada? Why not include Lauren in the conversation so that she can't deny it right in front of your face if she actually said it? But Of course, when you're on reality TV, you do things the more manipulative way. You do things the more side eye way, the way that the more shady way. And Elizabeth and Andre are extremely shady. Out of the three couples, Elizabeth and Andre, I feel as though it seems as if while we're watching this season, that they are bringing up the majority of the drama. That's not to say that Alexi and Lauren, Jovi and Yada are innocent. I do feel like Yada is the most innocent one out of the entire group. I don't think Yada likes drama. I don't think Yada likes the back and forth. I think Yada genuinely wants to be friends with Elizabeth and Lauren. I think she genuinely wants that. I think she wants that because she wants to stay in Miami, but she also wants to have friends who have her back. And Elizabeth and Andre are not showing that they have her back whatsoever. So Elizabeth leaves and says bye, and then they bleep out the word. And she didn't say the word bitch because Yada said the word bitch and it wasn't censored, but it was a 4-letter word. And I have a sneaky feeling that Elizabeth called Yada a CUNT, a see you next later. That's what I'm assuming that she said. Now, it wasn't verified by anyone, but Yada says she called me a bitch, but not the nice word for bitch. She called me a bad word for bitch. And the only other word that I can assume that she would have used is the CUNT word. And that is like an ultimate diss to someone that you do not like. And for someone who claims to be your friend to call you that word or any other word along the BITCH lines is not your friend whatsoever. So, Dustin, what were your thoughts on this whole argument between Andre, Elizabeth, Yada, and Jovi? What were your thoughts?
I think it was very uncalled for, Jonathan. I think they should have sit down and had a conversation, a private conversation between the three of them, and figured it out. Because if you don't have a conversation, how you supposed to figure things out? Yeah, you can't make it. You can't make it more different. You make it more difficult on yourself instead of making it easier. So why did you even do that? I don't like it. That's just my no thanks. I don't like that.
And Dustin, do
No,
you think that any of these couples are actually genuine friends? Like, do you think that they actually even like each other? Any of
nope,
them? Do you?
nope, nope. No, I do not.
And they're not acting like they like each other, and they're not acting like they're friends either. So I
Nope.
just feel bad.
I think they're doing it because they're in front of the camera and they need the money.
Yeah, that's what it seems might be the case. We're not exactly sure, but that's what it seems like to me.
I'll just say
Because
allegedly. I'll say allegedly for the protection of the channel, but that's just my opinion.
right, yeah, but that's what it seems like it might be the case. Is
All right.
I just still feel so bad for Yada because Yada seems to be the nicest person on this entire cast. And
Right.
for her to catch all these strays is just, I feel like it's so unfortunate for her to have
Mm-hmm.
to put up with this and on camera, out of all things. So
And Lauren and Lexi don't need to come back next season. I don't want
I
to say
would love to
no.
see Alexi back, to be honest, because I think he's a very handsome man. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't care for Lauren, to be honest. I really don't care for her.
Oh.
I feel like she treats herself as like this prim, proper princess who deserves the world. But I don't think she's necessarily entitled. I think that will be going too far as far as my thoughts on Lauren. But
Mm-hmm.
I just don't care for her. But I do love her husband, Alexi. I think he's a very handsome man. And I love the way that he deals with Lauren. He doesn't let her get away with things that he doesn't agree with. And I always love when a man or a woman puts their foot down in front of their partner. But let's move on to Jasmine and Gino. And we'll start off with Gino. So I began to see Gino in a different light on this particular episode. We saw a more jovial side of Gino. Of course, Gino's uncle calls him and lets him know that Jasmine has given birth. Jasmine posted a picture on her Instagram, a picture of her, their daughter Matilda, as well as Matt in a beautiful photo. Of course, Gino is like he doesn't care about it. He doesn't want to be legally obligated to take care of Matilda, which I would agree with. I would not want to be legally obligated to a child that is not biologically mine, because that is money that I could be spending on myself or other people that I love. So I understand Gino doing that. Gino was also creating a dating app profile. And so he looks up some, some pointers as to how he should create his profile. Now, for me, as far as my dating profile, I mean, I don't have any dating profiles now. I do have a dating profile on a dating app, but I haven't been on that app in a really, really long time, like over 2 years. But I just keep it real. I put a real picture up there. A lot of times on gay apps, you don't see face pics because a lot of people are, on the down low. But I put a face picture up there, give all the information that I want to share with the general public, and I just put it out. But Gino looks up these different things, different pointers as to how he should construct his profile. Keep it real. Try not to be cringy. Try not to say anything awkward on your profile. So. Gino says it's going to be easier for him to do that. So, we'll see. But he also goes out to get a couple of his shirts fixed with buttons. A couple of his shirts are missing buttons. He also has these pants on that are very large on him. And he wants to get his pants taken in, and he also wants to try on a couple blazers as well. And so the young man who was helping him out, first of all, he was a very, very handsome young man. And he just wanted to help Gino out. And Gino spills his entire story to this random sales associate, lets him know everything that's going on with Jasmine, tells him that Jasmine had a baby while they were still married with some random guy from down the street, and he's seeking a divorce and all this good stuff. But he actually does not want to pursue the divorce until his case with immigration comes to fruition. So once again, I don't know if Jasmine is going to end up going back to Gino, maybe in a later iteration of 90 Day Fiance, but that's what it seems like they're setting up here, because I don't see why he would not go forward with the divorce. Yes, you can do your immigration filing and your divorce at the same time. I feel like they can do that. But anyway, so right.
They can do that. He could do that. There's some other couples that did that. They didn't make it, so why can't he do that for? He can do it, but he don't want to.
Yeah, he just simply doesn't want to. But it is what it is. But yeah, so Gino's spilling his entire life story with the sales associate. I have to admit that I really didn't like any of the coats or jackets or blazers that Gino tried on. I don't, and they had what seemed like hundreds or thousands of options for him to choose from. But everything that sales associate put on Gino, I didn't like any of them. But Gino said that he liked the last one that he put on, but it was $500 and he didn't want to spend that money on that particular jacket. I wouldn't want to spend that type of money on a jacket either. But hey, that's just me, and I'm quite frugal. But yeah, when Gino started, doing the hammer dance, and then he was doing a little bit of leg work, I thought it was, nice to see Gino happy. It was nice to see Gino in a different light. And we also saw old pictures of Gino when he was a little bit younger, a little bit more fit, had a little bit of hair on his head. And, he was an attractive man. Not to say that he's not attractive now, but he was more attractive when he was younger than he is now, which seems to be the case for a majority of people. But where do you see Gino's story going as we move forward? Do you think he actually is going to pursue the divorce with Jasmine? If this immigration thing works out?
I hope he does, but I don't want to get my hopes up too high. I hope that he realizes that he deserves better. I've been saying this from episode 1 of the season, and I will continue to say this until the end of the season, so we can move on to the next season, to the next show, which would be a 90 Day Fiance the other way. But I'm just saying, I hope that he realizes that things need to change for his life and for the better, because he don't deserve to be treated like that.
Absolutely. No one deserves to be treated the way that Jasmine has been treating the men in her life, as far as we've seen on 90 Day Fiance. And speaking of Jasmine, so Jasmine and Matt are preparing for Matt's mother and sister to visit them at their home in Miami. And apparently Matt has told his mother that he and Jasmine are engaged. And he told her that just to soften the blow of Jasmine being pregnant. Now, I'm not sure exactly when he revealed this information to his mother, whether he revealed it before Jasmine had the baby or after she had the baby. I can only assume that he told her before she had the baby.
He told her before. Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right, cool. Thank you so much for that, Dustin.
You're welcome.
But I guess to soften the blow, because Matt's mother is extremely religious. I'm not exactly sure what religion they're a part of. It seems like some branch of Christianity because she was talking about God, and heaven and hell, and so it seems as though she may be a Christian. But Matt has told his mother that he and Jasmine are engaged, and Jasmine is taken aback by this. Again, I understand. Just saying with Julia not wanting to tell Brandon's mother that she's pregnant, I understand why Matt told his mother that they got engaged, because I feel like that's the best way, might have been the best way that she would have taken the news that Jasmine was pregnant. But dealing with Jasmine, you have to understand that there's a camera in front of her, and she has a way of drumming up more drama, that she's going to do that and force Matt to reveal to his mother that they are
Mm-hmm.
absolutely not engaged. And that is exactly what Jasmine ended up doing. But before we move forward, Lady Virgo has another comment here saying, JoJo speaks, I've been saying that Gino and Ed were one of the most attractive men from this franchise. Hey, if that's your opinion, go for it, Lady Virgo. They're not my cup of tea personally, but hey, if that's your thing, girl, do your thing, honey. I ain't gonna stop you from pursuing the men, honey. Not that you would actually pursue them, but I'm just saying, if you like them, girl, that's on you, honey. That is all you, girl. Do your thing, honey. Do your thing. Loud and proud about it, honey. I appreciate that. But and then Lady Virgo sends a little a more laughing emojis. But anyway, so um, Matt's mother and sister arrive at the house, and Matt's mother is so sweet, and she's so happy to see the baby. Matt tells his
Mm-hmm.
mom not to kiss the baby because he doesn't want the baby to get sick. I've seen other people do that. I mean, I guess, if you don't want them to kiss them, but you're gonna let them hold her as well. To me, that's two of the same thing. But anyways, and so Matt's mother is very, very happy. Jasmine is very happy as well. Jasmine is a little bit nervous. And I don't know if I necessarily agreed with the dress that Jasmine was wearing, because it was a little bit revealing. It perked her breasts up. She was showing a lot of leg, and I don't know if that's the outfit that I would have worn to meet my significant others, or the father of my child's mother. But hey, Jasmine is her own person, so she does what she wants to do. But anyway, so Jasmine makes some type of porridge for them. For
Mm-hmm.
me, the porridge didn't look too good. And from the reaction from Matt and his mother, didn't seem like it was that good either. It looked in the bowl, it looked fine, but when they started putting their spoon through it and it saw how runny it was, I don't know if I would wanted to eat that either. But anyways, so Jasmine forces Matt to reveal to his mother that they are not engaged, and Matt's mother, she takes it better than I thought she would. She does tell them that she's very disappointed to hear this news. And then Jasmine also reveals to Matt's mother and his sister that because she had the baby while she's still married, that Gino is legally recognized as the father of Matilda. And Matt's sister asked Jasmine, are you considering divorce? Are you actively trying to get a divorce? And Jasmine says that she is, but when she's talking to Matt about divorce, she really doesn't want to discuss the situation at all. So I'm not sure if she just said that just to be on their good side, but it is what it is. Lady Virgo says, stop. Stop it, JoJo. I just love you guys. We love you too, Lady Virgo. We love you too, honey. We're not judging over here. Go for the man you want to go for, child. I ain't gonna stop you, honey. I ain't gonna stop you at all. Um, but yeah, it's
Whatever makes you happy, Lady Burger. What do?
absolutely, do your thing, girl. Do your thing. But it's a little awkward, this particular scene. And then after Matt's mother and sister leave, Matt then proposes to Jasmine with a piece of string, and he says, this is not. I'm not rushing you to get into marriage. I'm not rushing you to say that we need to walk down the aisle tomorrow. But I'm just asking, would you consider it? Jasmine is crying throughout this entire endeavor. And she says that she can't give him a yes or no. And then Matt says to the confessional that he doesn't understand why he's doing all of these things for Jasmine, just for him to be made out to look like a fool by Jasmine. And I agree with Matt. Jasmine does not like to give in her relationships. She likes to receive. She likes to take from her relationships, but she doesn't do a lot of giving in her relationships. And I hope this shows Matt that he does not want to marry Jasmine. I don't know if he's just proposing to her because they're on a reality show, or if he's proposing to her because I also think that he might want to propose to her because he wants things to be done right in his mother and his sister's eyes. It's a whole lot going on with this. But Dustin, what were your thoughts on Jasmine and Matt's scenes in this particular episode? Where do you think this is going?
I see him getting married in the future.
Mm.
Honestly, I feel it. I feel it coming, Jonathan. And I think this is the only beginning stages of seeing the only beginning stages of seeing Jasmine and Matt together. I think we're going to see them back next season on another season of Happily Ever After. I don't like to say that, but this is how I feel. So I think that we're going to continue to see these people on the reality TV,
Yeah, it
and
seems like,
we got to prepare for next season. You and I got to
yeah.
prepare both because we're going to see it. We're going to definitely see him back next season, and so I don't know what capacity we're going to see him back, but we'll definitely see him back.
Yeah, it seems like 90 Day Fiance can be a little bit of a trap because a lot of times when people get on these shows, they probably feel like they have to stay on the show as long as they possibly can. And it seems like Jasmine and Darcy, for that matter, are trying to milk this baby, milk this cow
I mean,
for as long as they possibly can. And to be honest, I don't want to see Jasmine on another iteration of 90 Day Fiance after this season, but I'm almost 100% sure that we will. I personally don't want Matt to marry Jasmine. I don't think that Jasmine is the marrying type. I don't know what type of man would make Jasmine happy. I don't know if any man
nobody,
would make Jasmine happy. I
nobody.
mean, the ex-boyfriend that Gino was a little bit jealous of, for me, I felt like he might have been the perfect man for her, but maybe he couldn't put up with her mess. But it is what it is. But I personally don't want to see Matt and Jasmine get married. I don't want Matt to
I
be
don't either.
tied to Jasmine legally. Well, I mean, he is tied to her legally because of Matilda. But to take the next step to marry her, like, I don't know if Matt truly wants to marry Jasmine because he loves her. I think he's doing it out of obligation, possibly because of the baby, possibly because of his mother, possibly because of his sister. But I don't know if he genuinely wants to marry Jasmine because he wants to be married to her. I think he just wants to do it out of obligation. And you should never get married to anyone out of obligation. But we'll see what happens on the next episode. Allegedly, the next episode is the finale, the season finale. And then thereafter, we will see the tell all. But we'll see what happens with the next episode. Before we get out of here, Dustin, why don't you share with the good people your social media contacts real quick?
My social media contacts are Dustin Butler 700. My Facebook is Dustin Butler. And I always want to thank Jonathan for always being here for me as well. So thank you, Jonathan, very much. And
You're very
everybody,
welcome. You're very
and
welcome, Dustin. I'll always be here for you, boo.
thank you. And I thank you everybody for watching the live tonight. And we'll definitely be back next week. And I want everybody to join into the hot topics on Thursday. Jonathan and Jennifer and uh, Bionica puts on a
Bianca.
good show. Bionica puts on a good show every week. So continue to do that, Jonathan, as well. And we definitely put on a good show like you always do every week. And I will definitely be there.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for Dustin. I was definitely going to make that announcement, but thank you for doing it for me. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is Jojo_speaks 3020. My Facebook is Jonathan Lee. My email is williamjonathanlee@gmail.com. My Cash App is $ Jonathan Lee 07. That's $JONATHANLEE 07. As Dustin said, be sure to join me on Thursday night at 8 p.m. for my Hot Topics and Social Commentary show, where myself, Jennifer, and Bianca, we talk about the latest happenings and goings on in the world. We always have a great time on Thursday nights. And also be sure to join myself and Dustin next week, same time, same place, same beautiful
Beautiful
faces.
faces.
But until then, we'll say bye for now, y'all. Y'all have a wonderful, safe week. Stay warm out there because it is cold outside that door. Love you guys for watching. Thank you so much for being here, Lady Virgo and Auntie Robin. Love you guys. See you guys.